You said you knew Bill Gates had an evil agenda on some levels, but as you begin to do the deep dive, it was much darker than you realized.
Yeah, and part of that was, of course, with the pandemic, some of his evil behavior came out. But it goes way beyond that, Joni. It just blew me away. It's just like everything this guy does is to make money, murder people. It's crazy, and that's not hyperbole. But he is involved in literally steering the planet. He's literally the one who's steering the World Health Organization because he's the biggest donor. He's bottom up. He's the one who...
So we've got him involved with vaccines that have killed people. We've got him involved with the food industry that you said is pivotal. I mean, this fake meat.
Yeah.
Like, well, how is he doing that? And why in the world is he even involved in the food industry?
Well, and that's what we bring out. Last time I checked, if you've seen pictures of Bill Gates, he doesn't look like a very good health expert, right?
Yeah.
He's not a doctor. Why are you getting involved in food, and why are you getting involved in the healthcare system, specifically vaccines?
And how is he getting involved in the food industry?
His money.
Yeah.
Is he buying land? Is he buying farmland?
Well, when it comes to food supply, absolutely. He is now the largest farmland owner in the United States. But then I went even deeper. It's not just the United States, Joni. We're the world's biggest food exporter. He's over in Europe doing the same thing, specifically the Netherlands. And I didn't know this until I did the research. The Netherlands is the second largest food exporter. So he hits #1, and #2, he's buying up the land so he can grow more food. No, he ain't growing no food. He's limiting the food supply. Why? Because he's creating a monopoly to make money, and then he's going to use that food to murder people. His food is the worst food you could ever imagine, just his meat.
Yeah.
And this is in print. This is not a conspiracy theory. His meat is made from replicated cancer cells. Do you want to have a cancer burger? Wow. I'm trying to quit personally. I don't think it's going to be that good. So I'm going, but why is he pushing this? Because if he takes away and limits the normal food supply, then he comes in with his alternative, which is called a monopoly, and he'll make bank.
Truth is, it's not healthy. And you look at the ingredients that are involved in some of this. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about one of the other players, George Soros, and he's getting on up in age as well.
Oh yeah, he's got his backup plan. It rhymes with his son, Alex. And his son, Alex, says, you ain't seen nothing yet. You think my dad was leftist liberal?
What did you, when you did the deep dive, what did you find out about George?
Well, there's two things that drive him. Every one of these guys, I had to go behind the smoke screen. Who are you really? What drives you? Why do you do what you do? Why do you... So for George Soros, Bill Gates is make money, murder people. George Soros, it was make money and control people. And that control is built on the suffering of people and ends up him getting more money. It goes back to his heritage, and we have some vintage footage. It's transcribed for the book, but we also have the DVDs or downloads, whatever. But the George Soros, that's not his real name. He's Jewish. His real name is Georgie Schwartz. Good old Jewish name. In World War II, his family lied about being Jewish, while his fellow Jewish brothers and sisters were being hauled off to the camp. They lied, they claimed to be Christians, and then, as a teenager, and he admits this on tape, he helped the Nazis confiscate his fellow Jewish people's property. And he was even asked on tape, Joni, I'm not making this up, he was asked on tape, don't you have any remorse for that? He said, no. And he says, I'm here to make money.
So you call him the disruptor because he is so involved in many of these protests that happen, the anti-Semitism, like some of these people are paid by him to show up.
Yeah.
Do we know that?
No, we know it for a fact now. It's coming out. In fact, he's at it again with Trump being in office. You notice. He's paying. That's why I call him, Bill Gates is the depopulation elite. I call George Soros the disruptor elite. And he does this for, again, to meet his goal. I want to make money, and I'm going to do that by controlling people. His modus of operandi is to go into a country. By the way, he's involved in over 120, not just the United States. And just like Bill Gates, he does it under the guise of philanthropy. And so he created what I call his shell company to fund his evil projects called the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Soros does the same thing. His evil agenda, it's Open Doors Society or Open Society Foundation, whatever. It's the same thing, right? And so he goes into an area, and that's the smokescreen. And what he does is he immediately begins to pay for disruption, pay for chaos, pay for riots. Why? Because he lets that ride until it begins to affect the markets and the economy, and then he goes in, swoops in when it's at its lowest, and then backs off, things turn, he makes bank. And this was brought out as a common procedure for him. This is how he ended up with billions of dollars.
Wow.
Is he did this back in the day in the 90s. In fact, you can still look it up on the internet. He's the man that broke the Bank of England and Bank of London. And because he went in there, purposely manipulated the markets, which caused pain and suffering. People lost their jobs, their life, but he didn't care. He's there to make money, right? And then he manipulated it, and then at the end of the day, he ended up with $1 billion. This was back in the 90s, and so he uses that same cookie cutter methodology in countries around the world.
If today's content inspired you, then let's spread God's glory together. I'd love for you to like, comment, subscribe, and then share it with someone who needs it so we can continue making a difference together.